Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hand of Fate 2. So, we're going to try to Hierophant one more time, I think, even though... Oh yeah, I didn't do what I said I was going to do, which was to look up how to find the clues, because I am extremely confused on that. But yeah, we'll give this a go and see if maybe fame plays a role. We're still there's still a decent argument to play this scenario because you're going to fight a bunch of thieves and there's a bunch of equipment that requires fighting thieves.
Can weigh you down
and there's
make
just
your challenges harder.
That's an interesting line of monologue that they probably should have said a long time ago. Let's see, we'll try in the middle here. Three hints that time? 5 hints that time. 7 hints. Yeah, you start with 7 hints, and then it's just confusing as far as like.
Be careful. Take only what you can.
Take a bounty from Ketera. We'll see if we could sell any equipment early on. No, not anything I'd want to sell, and can afford to buy that. You know what it must be, is that we must have to get more clues and then review the clues to get more clues from reviewing the clues. Like, this must be some kind of tutorial mission to just learn that in some campfires that's going to be a big deal to go to the camp. And you're going to have extra abilities in some campfires. But if that is the case, that is also a skill you really don't use, or a strategy you don't use much at all.
Too much talking. Let's wrap this up.
Early fight there. There's only a minimal strategy, I would say, here to not use your companion's ability. We can't really equip that, so we'll take that. And here we have a weird situation, sorry I went quiet there, where defeat 50 goblins, or buy this and defeat 15 thieves with a finisher, or take 50 hits. Let's go ahead and take that. Now there is a thought, certainly, that maybe I need more gold. And there is an amount of gold we do need here. So, need 16 gold before I go on to one encounter. So, have we ever gone with Borden first? There may just be a very specific order in which all of this happens. This quest here is just about getting as high of numbers as possible into rolls. Now, it had a token on it. So we'll just go to the guild early.
Plan better.
Let's see. So which one of these is the right choice? Borden smiles when you say you're proud to work with a great man. Borden trusts you a little bit more. Give 3 pain life cards. Borden trust you a little bit more. You would think that is what you're trying for. Whoops. Borden trust you considerably less. Ask him his favorite food, bribe with 8 gold. Win the dice roll. These answers seem to always be the same. If you can't roll a 10,
I hope you have learned to be their master.
You're in a really bad state, but there are a lot of times when I'm rolling incredibly low. These are too fair of dice for a video game. Yes, I have a beautiful wife. It's difficult to see her as I travel so often. That's funny. That feels like that is different information, and it feels like that's a hint. Good thing I had all that money to bribe him as much. I was a farmer before this. So I was wondering if maybe doing the guild encounter first would have led to anything. It doesn't seem like that's the case, though. Then maybe you would have gotten more clues for every card that was still face down on the field per level.
Out of my way.
As the goblins down. pretty obviously these goblins encounters are designed to work to give you even more gold. And I feel like I've done this scenario with the goblin companion character, which that would be the only thing that would maybe feel different. Right. So first thing we want to do, see if we can buy some equipment. Doesn't seem like it. Let's see if we can buy some food. And then we want to review the clues. So, Gelfrey said that Rowena worked for him for a long time. Gelfrey said that Rowena was in the 3rd Legion of the Empire. Gelfrey said Rowena was always tell the truth for money. Gelfrey said that Borden had worked for him for a long time. Gelfrey said that Borden will spill the truth when drunk. Gelfrey said that Grindin had worked for him for a long time. Gelfrey said that Grindin makes wild accusations when drunk. Gelfrey said the assassin will always lie regardless of their personality. What did Borden say? Borden said that he had a beautiful wife, and that seems to be it. And there is no trade and purchase of clues. Let's just review the mission. There's little time left until the night of the assassination. Identify the assassin by Father Gelfrey's final evening in the Mulberry Inn. Let's get our health a little bit higher. So reviewing clues is not doing anything either. Let's see. Yeah, and there's just not really anything here. If we were to say to keep exploring, that's the same thing in every mission. Let's see. Maybe we shouldn't take the ring. So we're gonna go with Grindin next. It feels like there's just an entire level I'm not really making it to. And in fairness, I am not making it to the end of a lot of these levels. Ketterai is just like the perfect
Now you
character for
approach
this mission.
the beast in its den. Can you bring them to justice?
Alright, we're in a good position to fight you. Ketterai arrives at Iron Peak Necropolis with you in tow. With great caution, you sneak through the twisting maze of crypts and spectacles before spouting a gathering of brigands. Amid the old graves below, you hide behind a headstone. The prince's thugs crowd around the cadaver. Their stomach turns, but Ketterai stays silent. The corpse quite clearly belongs to one of the poisoner's victims. Akos himself stands off to one side, admiring his handiwork. The body is bloated, its limbs twisted unnaturally from its final anguish moments. Akos clasps his hands together in triumph. Dear friends, this may be well be my masterwork. How does it feel to be in presence of a true genius of the murderous arts? So, poisoner of grade and native grade. I said, how does it feel, cruel Ketterai? Akos stares directly at your hiding spot. Couple of heroes, boss? Bandits ask as he draws his daggers. This old woman isn't here to save Iron Peak, the Prince of Poison laughs. She's here because she has a death wish. So, a lot of people here. Let's see what happens. And Aculus is a uniquely designed character. There are those who hate because they know no better. This man is not one of them. Poisoners deploy a canister that slowly depletes your life, destroy it with an attack or ranged ability to stop the effect.
Now you time to
Quickly, we're running out of enemies. Of course, he's a disappearer, so we can only wildly fling ourselves, basically, until we can get enough hits. Kedera is not really succeeding at firing on him because he's teleporting faster than you can actually hit him with. The game's not targeting them fast enough. My life is low, but not low enough. But that definitely shows that that kind of enemy style would not be good if we were fighting them over and over again, because that would be way too slow for fights. Kedera drops her blunderbuss and hobbles over to the prince's body, blood oozing from the deep cut in her thigh. She drops to her knees and begins scrabbling at his mask. "Come on," she whispers. "Come on, you bloody bastard." "Help her with it, I suppose?" Gently unclasp the face covering and lift it from the corpse's face. Kedera stares at the killer's face and exhales. A tear falls from her eyes. Then another, then another. This isn't him. The old woman's ragged sobs are carried away on the cold graveyard wind. Then she stops, wipes her eyes, and stares at the creases in her hands. Ask her what the culprit is supposed to look like. Ask her how long it's been since Tamara's death. Let's ask what the culprit is supposed to look like. Kedera frowns, his eyes dart about wildly, as if she's not been asked that question in a very long time. It was definitely a he, or maybe it wasn't. I remember the eyes clearly. Those cruel, cruel eyes. So Kedera's just been chasing a ghost, it seems like, for a long time. It's been too many years. Sometimes it's hard to remember what she looked like. Ask Kedera what she will do now. I have held up your end of the bargain. I will offer what I can to your rebellion. You gain 12 fame. So, I guess that would be a spoiler for a movie, so I won't make the reference, but there are several tragic tales where somebody feels like there is a bad guy, but they really don't know who the bad guy is or remember who the bad guy is. There was a short, and you'll never find it, I never could, that was on the Sci-Fi Channel decades ago, where they had a show of showing just independent shorts, and it was, I think, called Eggman, and the general idea is that a father had a child who choked on a plastic egg and just died from it, was looking for the person who invented plastic eggs or who would be responsible for the child dying, when there really isn't any way of assigning any blame to anyone. It was oddly somewhat like Saw before Saw. In fact, there's in one of the Saw movies a trap that's very much like it. So we get 12 fame. Take his mask, Kedera says with a sigh as she rises to her feet. Let's get our gold. Visit the Iron Peak Ballistics encounter card to upgrade Kedera. So we have a bleed buff. When causing bleed, the effects last 250, 25% longer. Infinity, one enemy does 200% damage when defeated. All enemies deal 50% damage, excluding shadows, undead, and corrupted. Gain +5 for every encounter where you draw a pain card. We would need to gain 25 gold from gold pain ability during this card. Are we gonna do any I don't think I want to equip this card.
The hunt has come to its natural conclusion.
So we move that story forward. And then we need to kill 3 more thieves. I don't think we can afford too much, but we do need to heal up. And there's really no reason to review clues at this point. Let's see if there's any equipment here that we need to look at. We may not really have anything that's labeled as new. Let's see. Sell that. If I'm going to get this shield, I need to just encounter a fight with a one-handed sword. So let's go ahead and just equip a one-handed sword. It's probably a mistake. So we want to defend 3 times on the shield to just finally get the shield upgraded. We hopefully won't die from that silliness. This is also a bad one to have chosen to focus on, considering we are supposed to be racing away.
Time to die.
Find this goblin. And what sucks about that is I think I defended exactly twice. So we'll have to go into the next fight, I think. Claim that gold. Intriguing sword, one-handed. Goblins with a finisher. If we say, would we like an autograph, we say yes. That trusts more. If we say a new recruit, Then you say you stole the stars from the sky and put them in his eyes. Trust you a little bit more. And then, is there just some kind of scenario here where maybe you ask about him being a famed actor and that gives you one hint, and then maybe you have to ask about the other two? No, it definitely seems like you just get the same one hint at most in each of these encounters. So let's review clues. But yeah, reviewing clues does not seem like it is changing anything. So it definitely just feels like there's another section. We don't even need to borrow gold. But I probably should ask this just in case, just to see if it gives us a clue. It didn't. So now I can collect debt on his behalf. Otherwise I kind of don't care about this encounter.
Let us see what mysteries are hidden here.
Okay. So the move is to do this.
A weapon that supports strength
and get
and
this
power
item.
with yet more strength and power.
So we want to use Dead Man's Hand. Now to use Dead Man's Hand, I think your life has to be under a certain amount, though. Mournful waste groans under the weight of the untold stories. This was but one of them. I was trying to have one of them hit me. Come on, somebody. I can't actually block anything. So trying to accomplish like 3 different goals at the same time there. Beat them fast, use Dead Man's Hand, and block. Berserker Creed. It's been done. We don't need our gold, so we'll spread a secrecy to get more trust. Ask about her past. So we know Rowena is actually the assassin this time. She's lying. It's always the Third Legion. She doesn't apparently have family. She hates roasted apple. Really, she only kind of lies on the one clue, it seems. Fame is doing nothing in this scenario, however. So we return the item now. Place them on the counter. Clerk draws a large loop from the breast pocket and examines the item, turning it this way and that. And you can vouch that it's magical. Yes, the clerk says after some time, this item has certainly seen better days, but a relic with validated magical potential is well valuable. He opens a small metal safe behind the counter. I believe you've earned a reward. Warlock Wraps is partially charged.
Well done.
I thought we just used Dead Man's Hand, not Warlock Wraps. Just a ton of gold. We're very possibly going to end this scenario with like 100 gold. Okay. I was supposed to have that shield equipped. Darn it. Bash 50 enemies as they block. Defeat 25 goblins with a finisher and block 30 times. Okay, well we'll have a couple more opportunities for this. The only real move I think would be take on another bounty for even more gold. Buy food, which is probably a great investment. We should look at the equipment, which we could afford to buy. But I'm not going to spend the money on it. I'd rather finish with 100 gold. If I finish with 100 gold and then that meant I could start other levels with 10 gold or 10 more gold, that would be rather nice. Although it probably wouldn't change too much. The shopkeeper looks troubled as you enter the establishment. Anything I can help you with? He asks tentatively. Demand that you pay the gold owed to Badger. Try to convince him to pay you the gold. Let's see. Shopkeeper curses you in 6 different languages, then throws a chest full of coins onto the table. So you get cursed. Take a small share of the gold, keep all the gold. Soon after, Badger appears from an alleyway and takes possession of the chest. Any problems getting this lot? Actually, never mind. The details. Business is business. Birder's betting house. It's just all about gambling. We do have enough to gamble, so let's bet 14 and roll dice. How high are we going for this? I guess it's probably just as high as you go. So I bet 14 and I may get 13 back. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is the one where you want really low rolls in the first 2 rolls. Well, at least a 13 here. See, I don't even understand the second roll. That seems to me like it's pointless.
A win here sets the tone for your challenge.
So we get 14 gold. And I guess we'll play cards. And we'll fail miserably. I guess we'll play cards again. And we'll fail miserably. And that whole encounter, I think, is really just there to have a situation
here, lest you fall prey to their poison.
where you could get more gold. Now, I don't know why we're fighting bounty hunters in this case. As you make your way back to the walled streets of Fire Peak, you're surrounded by a gang of armed thugs. Stop right there, adventurer. It is I, Miriam Sharphands, the world's greatest treasure hunter. Their leader boasts magical artifacts are my business, and rumor is that you have a warlock wraps. I thank you for doing the hard work. Now hand it over. Oh, so this is an encounter based on the antiquities encounter, which we've already done. I do not have it. Forgive us if we do not trust you. The thugs pat you down for the item. So you basically have a timer in which you need to return the item, otherwise the bounty hunters are going to fight you and chase after you. They don't have nothing, boss, says the thug, pushing you to the ground. We'd best get out of here. And with that, the gang disappears into the smoggy streets of Iron Peak. You pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and continue your journey.
The underground
That would have
reaches
been
out
a
once more
big
in
encounter.
search of fresh meat.
Definitely worth skipping, since there was no token around it. With little warning, a stampede of gnomes burst from the tree line, trampling your camp and ruining your perfectly adequate stew. The tiny creatures clamber into the bushes behind you and peer out from the foliage with great anticipation. You turn to see what has frightened them. A larger than average goblin steps into the clearing, a crude sword in one hand and an empty sack in the other. Did some gnomes just come through here? The goblin's chins jiggle with anger and hesitation. We will not eat them, only throw them. So do we want to find a goblin, or do we want to help the gnomes capture the goblin capture the gnomes? I don't think I'd ever choose number 2, so let's choose number 2, just to see if that gives us the token. Sheepishly, you help the goblin pluck gnomes from the bushes and deposit them in the sack. Satisfied with the haul, the goblin heaves the wriggling sack over his shoulder and tests the weight. Thank you, fleshy mortal. I am happy with these gnomes. They are good weight and can be flung far. He counts out coin for each gnome in the sack and then returns to the forest, leaving you alone to reorganize your camp. You lose 13 fame, and that did not give me the token. Which, okay. We know not to do that again.
A home for artifacts rare and fabulous. Also a cave of treachery and deceit.
We're seeing a lot of new cards and figuring out what the new cards do, which this is the danger, certainly if I was to play a lot off screen, is that you would just constantly, I'd have to come back explaining what cards do, and playing off screen I wouldn't have really even bothered to read most of this. I really wish this was all just a text-to-speech app, or had been voice acted correctly. This hidden oasis was once the home of a great magician. Merrick explains his secrets are said to be lost, but I'm sure they can be found. Your reward cannot be much further. The flickering light of your torch reveals rows of magical treasure as you enter the secret vault of a long-dead magician. This chamber is rumored to hold items of great power. Merrick explains the ancient relics and ornate ornaments shimmering quietly under the layers of dust. Take your pick. Okay, so you have a very high dice roll here. Just not going to get 17, even with 3 5s. So I probably shouldn't play this card unless I have Colborne with me or some other dice roll adapters. You select a crystal vial filled with some kind of yellow liquid. It suddenly shatters, splashing you with a caustic acid. But only a few are real, Merrick admits, sensing your anger. The rest are traps for burglars, said to explode, or worse, without warning. Don't worry, this means one less trapped item. The room, now we have to just dice roll for 15. So we're going to take a pain card every time. We fail. And that was the right thing to do, and it still doesn't work. You select a draw holding a glowing fairy, entranced by its beauty. You release it, realizing too late it is merely an enchanted gremlin in disguise that bites you on the way out. None of the other objects appear to have been disturbed by the effects of the spell. You successfully identified another one of the trapped items. So this is just going to keep on going. We can take the pain though. And odds are we'll win in the next couple of rolls. You select an ornate carved wand that suddenly shadows, impelling you with splinters. How many lines of dialogue did they create for this, I wonder?
Games,
I mean, it could certainly be quite a lot of failed rolls. Come on, come on. You select a silver bell that rings. As you examine it, the sound grows louder until the entire room begins to shake. In desperation, you strike the bell repeatedly until it sounds no more. They keep telling you none of the other objects appear to have been disturbed by the spells. Which seems like that is added text that is just unnecessary. Finally! But wouldn't it suck if this doesn't give me the token because I failed so many times? The item you selected glows with inner power as you pick it up. Here we have Hero's Call. It's more beautiful than you'd ever imagine. Merrick grabs it hastily from you. This item has finally allowed me to sway the guild. I'm sorry, my friend, he says as he puts the artifact in his cloak. You're a great pupil and you've played your part, but now you're only a loose end. We've been ambushed by a silencer of greed. Which, unless he's really, really strong, which would imply he should be a brimstone card, this shouldn't be that difficult even with low health. We'll try to be a little careful here. Merrick the Thief is just a regular thief model with a mask over his face, silencer model. City breeds quick hands and hard hearts.
Out of my way.
I think aggression here is probably the right move. Otherwise, he's gonna slice my health down bit by bit. It seems I underestimated you from the first day you caught me back in the city bazaar. I should have known You'd best me in the end. The young thief winces as he pushes the artifact towards you. Take it, it's yours. +1 thieves bounty.
A moment of history and a cloud of death.
We already have unlocked this card. I guess I maybe have just never looked at it. The gates of the vault begin to close and you make a hasty exit. Gaining fame. Now, we're not going to have over 100 gold. But we'd be over 75 and we really don't have anything else we can do, so... We could once again review all the clues. We know it's Rowena, so we can accuse Rowena, I think. But we're still 8 clues missing. Let's see how this plays out. You find that Father Galfrey is at his usual place next to fire. As you set yourself opposite to him, you notice he looks distinctly calm despite the foretelling of his death tonight. You watch Borden, Rowena, and Grindin roaming about the tavern. Find and eliminate the assassin before they eliminate me. However, I cannot be responsible for what may happen if you accuse one of my sons wrongly. The red candle upon the fireplace burns tall. Let's see. Let's talk to Father Galfrey about details. Let's see. Do we really have a timer here? So let's go talk to Borden. We just have... Let's see. Well, we have like enough gold to bribe everybody. Anyways, so let's just bribe everybody. So when we bribe him, Ronea's main different factions I hear, perhaps it would be easier for her to be disloyal to our guild. Okay, so the trick here is you really would have needed a massive amount of gold at the end because you've got to bribe them a couple times and get them drunk to get 6 hints. Let's drink with Borden. You kind of need a pendulum swing artifact too.
That will set you in good stead from here.
So maybe you should do a pendulum swing early. So I'm a little short on gold, unfortunately. If you fail one, then you won't get that hint. So I probably have failed already. So let's see if we can drink. You can't drink. And so we might as well go for 20.
Well done. You continue to impress.
Okay. So I am one clue short. Ask about wrist daggers. Alpha to stand guard.
Hurry now. The moment is almost here. Make your decision.
So you need like 90 gold at the end of this. You need swing things. We know it's Rowena, so we can accuse Rowena. Rowena draws a pair of cruel daggers from her cloth, grinning menacingly. I think you can face me. You've uncovered the assassin. Rowena rallies some guild minions. So weirdly, the entire experience of getting gold on this has everything to do with just being a wind up to that last event card and a bunch of dice rolls and a bunch of precision swings. Silencer Rowena, her loyalty to gold is staunch and unwavering.
I don't need much of an excuse to crack a few heads.
Health needs to be monitored. And see, my health is so low. I just want my companion to hit her, but she's not hitting her, so whatever. That would have really sucked to lose and die at that point, but it also just kind of doesn't matter. If you finish a quest without getting the gold token, then you're not actually accomplishing anything more. And now we have the bounty complete, which definitely shows that Ketera is the character to play in this scenario. And you wouldn't have had her unlocked if you didn't have DLC. As the violence subsides, you realize that Father Galfred is standing next to you, eyeing Rowena's body glibly. Such a shame. I thank you for your services. He places a heavy bag of gold in your hand and returns to his seat by the fireplace. They don't even have any dialogue explaining why you don't get to the gold, though. We made massive amount of progress, however. The companion quest. For defeating the Prince of Poisons, we have Ascetic Sting and the Mask of Exile. For claiming the Prince's Bounty, we have Iron Peak Ballistics. What was the Prince's Bounty? I don't remember which one. And Iron Peak Necropolis. must have all been around Ketera because they were DLC items. For retrieving the enchanted artifact, we have Warlock Wraps now as an item. For completing Merrick's quest, we have Hero's Call, which I guess we didn't have that before. And then for putting the shield to good use, we now have a reinforced shield. Okay. So, unlike the High Priest, I do feel like there's a pretty obvious way to win here, but it also feels like now is not really the time to do that because there are some... No, I don't think we really do need Colborn for the dice rolls. I think we're much better using her and having gold. So this is not right. This might give you an artifact. This would give you an artifact but lose life. I'm thinking no to that one also. And I'm thinking probably need to try to do something on one of these brimstone cards. Combat efficiency, fight the Empire, blessed. Goblin Town is almost certainly the correct thing still. So we should probably look for one more thing that would let us gain gold very easily. You definitely should play Cartographer with Desert Trek if you want. If you have 2 free cards, I suppose. Just take that one. That one's a good one for this scenario. There's quite a few cards here now that don't have tokens on them. So we're really going to make a build trying to actually succeed. Instead of just having a bunch of cards that are more silly. Goblins, let's get rid of that. Goblins. We are fighting goblins, but in such a small amount. It doesn't make sense to have that. So we want to know what this does. It's a new card. We want to know what that does as a new card. And we want to know what that card does. Let's get rid of like that in favor of that. This is a slow swing card. And I guess it's helping a little bit if you have it equipped. And we know it's not fame that you're looking for, so starting with gold makes all the sense in the world, and probably starting with food would also make a lot of sense. We'll pause at 15 enemies with the buckler is arguably more likely to happen. Defeat enemies with the gun. Charged bash. Yeah, we'll take the gun and the gold. So I said I was going to do it one more time, but it is just too logical now to continue. So next episode, hopefully we will finally get gold. In a lot of ways, we can kind of rush through the other encounters, particularly if they are things we've already seen, and just make it to the end, which getting lucky at the end is what we're focusing on. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, and keep on watching. Thanks.